if we do something different, it means we're doing something iconic. So, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's more of preservation and then evolving.
Yes.
Exactly. So,
I know your voice like this.
wow.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Architecture of the Mind podcast with Kachi, Duebi, Dede, Fabian, Chagoze, and Ezekiel. Woo! No energy. Hi guys. So today we're going to be having a conversational analysis of the YouTube video. Hey, what's the YouTube video? Of the TED Talk by Xi Zhang. What is good architecture and why the world does not need any more star architects? So we have a list of questions here. Obviously, it's a conversation, so we can all be free with our ideas and our opinions. No shade here, you know. Let's all be. Yes, we all have. We can all put that fine. Okay. So our first question here. Xi Zhang started the talk with the phrase "no more star architects, but better architects." Do you think there's a difference? Like before you watched the video, do you think there was a difference between star architects and better architects? Personally, I believe before I watched the video and she explained what she meant, I honestly didn't think there was a difference between star architects and better architects.
Yeah, I actually also didn't make a difference because I thought that being a star architect should be a good architect. So that was my whole philosophy around that.
I personally, I didn't even realize that there was a term like star architect before that video. But I just believe that for you to be a star architect, you have to be a good architect. But I didn't know that you have a better architect, you have star architect, like there was a whole concept behind it. I just believe that for you to be, they say all good architects, all star architects are good architects. But I kind of feel that not all good architects are star architects.
So
like I said earlier, so I didn't think there was any difference between star architect and better architect because as an architect, if you're doing a good job, you're a star. So I don't think there's any difference.
That's fine. So further on in the video, Xi Zhang gave like a summary of European architecture. She started talking about how European architecture was so like grand, it was grandiose, it was like art in comparison to the traditional Chinese architecture when they focused on like humanity and like allowing nature to be determinant for their buildings. So like in that kind of light of history, just that kind of short summarized history, do you think that there's a difference between the Nigerian architecture of old and the Nigerian architecture of now?
Yeah. Definitely. So right
Why is this person talking?
well, it's wisdom and like I said, that's the podcast. So the architecture of old, they run with the hip roof, those and then all this. Jesus, you have forgotten my
The architecture of old was basically traditional architecture and vernacular architecture. So I believe that the architecture then was more sustainable than it is now because we're building with our traditional materials and there was this community involvement in building, like what is it that we need in our environment. So they will come, they will build it together there. So it brought about this coexistence between them. There was this community stuff. So I believe that was also what good architecture needs. That
I personally feel that back then they worked with what was available. So there's this saying that when the desirable is not available, the available becomes desirable. Back then they did not have anything like cement, steel, and rods and all of that. They made use of mud, thatch, and
What meant
based on her argument or what she was going for, the difference in the thought process behind the architecture of old and the architecture now. Now, the thought process behind the architecture of old was, okay, what do we need? We create a space for the living area where we receive visitors. And that's it's usually a very big compound. And there's a building for the living area. Yeah, Nigerian old, traditional architecture. So there's the kitchen space, there is the room for this wife, room for this wife. So that was it. It was like creating a community inside one space. Now, what I feel is, what we've done now is we've thrown away that tradition and we've adopted the European way, keeping everything within a confined space. You get what I mean? So like I feel like at the end of the day, we are not really tapping into that route. Back then, palaces were not just one big building. They were different. This wife has this wife has this. Each meeting room is this. So it's completely. I don't think there's any building now that in Nigeria that does that.
I feel like because of space. They have now stacked those things. So instead of having different buildings, they have different levels. So like the high level can be like for maybe your CEO, and lower level for the person below you.
That's true, but there's another angle to it. You know how I kind of believe that back then they focused on functionality. And one thing with architecture, it goes beyond functionality. You have aesthetics as the whole. So I kind of think that if what we have now, they had it then most likely, most of the things that used to happen that time in architecture wouldn't have been the case.
I don't completely agree with that. Now, the thing is this, we didn't have to if we had those materials, then we would have done it the same way, or better.
Oh.
I don't know if you get me.
Okay.
So that was the thought, that was the way they worked. It was like to create a community among them, creating different space for one family. Now, if they had the materials and the technical, they would have done the same thing, or it would have even been better. Because even if you look at Asian houses, they had that same thing. They had you have a big court here, and you have rooms here, and you space it out. You can so that, and even now, most of them retain those kind of structures. I don't think we have any of.
So I kind of want to counter what Faye said earlier about I feel like Nigerian architecture, what is sustainable for the environment is using what is available in your area. Concrete, as we know, emits how much carbon that is affecting our environment. So the problem that we have, that we're facing in Nigeria, is we did not do so much research with our mud and all those things to be able to advance it so that we'll be using, because all those materials, mud, it's what's the word? Like not even available. Like now that the environment is very hot, if you're staying in a mud house, the environment will be cool because it's. I don't
Mud had has its limitations.
Yes.
Back then, they couldn't achieve the high-rise buildings that we have now. Why? Because it couldn't do so much. So they were forced to work with spreading the building. If they could achieve what we are doing now with concrete, I bet you won't have been seeing some of these things. How it was there.
No, my point is just that we should try to
engineer, try and experiment with more.
Because I know what you're saying. I mean, we're just trying to compare what was there with what's happening now.
Alright, guys. So that sounds good. So next, do you know any star architects in Nigeria? Like, okay, sorry, not no, because
no of.
Yes, I know. Okay, but you know what?
No.
You know of.
No, I know of.
Okay,
I'll take me a picture with that.
Sorry.
Jumoke, I don't know.
Oh wow.
She came for such.
She came for.
Yes.
Yeah, picture of that.
No, you guys can take a picture of me. I understand.
Future writing.
Alright.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
Okay, Jumoke.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
And there is somebody that we refer to as the star architect, is Evans Ikemini.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like influential now, like among, like he's one of the people that like speak out for architects in Nigeria. Or like, there are been popular names, like Garden War, there's Constitutional
Yeah.
War. But like, I feel like somebody that is like actively doing something in architecture in Nigeria. Those Constitutional was just actively, and I've seen how on
Yeah.
BBC and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but Evans, I really like how he comes out to speak for architecture, talk about architecture. On like Twitter and Instagram, you see his page trying to
Advocate, yeah. Feng Shui masters coordinate the coexistence among human, object, landscape, and nature, functionally, functionally, spatially, and socially, in order to achieve the harmony of human and nature on a strategic level. So, like with this description of a Feng Shui master, do you think architects are Feng Shui masters?
Yes.
I read it down. I read it down. Okay, so she said Feng Shui masters, they coordinate coexistence between human beings, nature, landscape, like all these characteristics. That's what they do. They coordinate all these things in a functional manner, spatial manner, and social manner, so that they can achieve harmony between all these concepts. So, like with our more than 4+ years of experience in the field of architecture, do you think that architects can be described as such people?
So in the video, when she was trying to compare Chinese and European architecture, I think what that question like at first, what she's trying to say is that the European, they don't consider scale. They don't consider like human scale when they are building. Like you see 100 floors, this one, that one, that all this stuff. It makes the human feel small and not connected to nature, because when you come out, you cannot maybe see the sky or anything that is happening. So in that video, she also talked about how they design step the traditional, the architecture, like structure, the horizon view that you can see what is happening. So I think that's what most of the architecture now is just, okay, everybody's trying to do, oh, my building is the highest building or has the highest floor. Everybody's trying to show it. So most people in Chinese, they are just, and she also talked about them not destroying like the already existing structure. They try to build with what's there and just raise it up. Meanwhile, in the European side, they will showcase, demolish everything and build new stuff again. And it's not like keeping the heritage of that place, but for this, she's Chinese, right?
Yes,
she's Chinese. Okay, so they will. Okay, this is what was here before. How can we upgrade it to still retain that cultural value that it has?
I feel like this description of a Feng Shui master, I feel like that's what us as architects should adopt. I even think that is what us as architects are taught to do.
Exactly.
Like that's our job. Like apart from just designing, because we cannot decide to design a building to just accomplish the function it's supposed to accomplish. Also, we're always supposed to consider human, nature, surroundings, landscape. It's stressful. We have to do it.
Okay, the thing is
We are Feng Shui masters.
Technically we are Feng Shui masters. I just feel like what's the name? This stuff I used to call the master builder.
Okay.
That's architects we refer to as, that was what an architect was referred to as
Back then.
So that is the same time as Feng Shui master for them. So when you want to build a house, you call the Feng Shui master, the consultant. I'll just come and be like, the room should be here, this should be facing this, that way it can be in harmony with this. So basically he's an architect. So the only difference, the only thing that is that he is not particular about is the material aesthetics that we are for. You know, the part where we have to make the building look fine. So you know that's like one of the things that we
also
take
consider
as architecture. In fact, most people are strayed away from the Feng Shui part of it,
Just
and now it's
accept
just let it be fine, let it be crazy, let it be this. Forgetting the part where it's supposed to be, what's the name? Yeah,
Harmonize,
harmonize.
holistic action.
That's where so we are
I
the
want to just write off this. An architect is a feng shui master. Like people evolve over time. We evolve. So like the use of this feng shui master, yeah, evolves to what we are
what we are
doing.
now. Yes.
But then the difference between an architect and a better architect is that when we use this feng shui, we use aesthetics,
Along with the aesthetics.
and then we put it together,
Yeah.
and then we create for humanity.
That makes
That's basically what.
Okay,
and also we draw.
Here's how we draw.
We draw like 5 hours, 10 hours.
so if you like go on YouTube to like see some buildings, like in India, for example, if you want to try to compare their architecture, if they say, okay, show us like Nigerian building, what is existing now, you see luxury, everything everywhere, stamp concrete, nothing, no nature. But if you now look at Indian architecture, their building, and you just even just watching the video, you just feel this kind of peace.
Yes.
Because everything is just in line with nature. They try to put trees inside the
And everything.
and everything. So
I feel like that's where we Nigerians are failing.
Yeah.
We're lagging behind.
Like-
Because we tend to go on Pinterest, go to the internet, you see a fine structure, you just copy and paste. Because what is architecture? I remember when in my 200 or my 300 level or so, they spoke about the use of Hebrews. And most countries that use that Hebrew system are countries that majorly have snow or experience snow. So you have something like that so that even when the snow has stacked on it, just a little push or shoving, everything will slide down. You don't experience snow here.
So where are we using
Water.
I thought it was a lot of rain.
It's not just
Rain.
you can have something that is a bit cheap, but if you go to some states now, you see very steep, very high. What is that for?
That was not us. If you look at it from our traditional, the traditional way, it's usually round. And then we have the roof just come like a cone and just.
If you go to the north now, like back then, the way northern architecture used to be, you hardly see those kind of views. You see why? Because of the kind of environment. So the climate of the environment in the place should affect and influence the way you
Like now, if I ask, like you were talking about Indian and then also Japanese, if you notice the design, the good idea, very amazing that they try to design with their culture. So with us, we prefer to take in modern. So this is how Nigerians always if we do something different, it means we're doing something iconic. So, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's more of preservation and then evolving. Exactly. So,
I don't know your voice like this.
Wow.
so instead of see, I'll keep answering. So instead of us, so this is what we have here. How do we make this better? We are more like, this is what we have here. It's not fine. Let's change it.
We are not supposed to.
I'm looking at this thing here and it's entering my eye. Let me pick that and then bring it here.
Have you noticed how Nigerian palaces don't look traditional anymore? They look like regular. If you look at Indian architecture and their best buildings, they are crazy like buildings. You see their manners. They retain that practice of their own architecture with you see like a very big open space for like communal living. Then you have the house around. But that does not mean that it's not very white, nice buildings. They can even use modern materials. Do you get me? But they still keep that their output is
culture, their
unique.
culture. You notice
So then if you copy it, you'll be copying Indiana.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because there are some, and if you go to the internet, there are some, how I feel architecture should be in Nigeria. Just like when you go to the internet, you don't need to see the name or the location of the country before you know that. If you see a Chinese building now, you will know that this is a Chinese. If you see an Indian structure, you will know that this is.
We don't
But that's not the case. Yes,
We don't have identity.
so I feel exactly. So I feel we need to have.
I saw something that we always say, oh, Nigeria, we don't have an identity that if we carry the building, we are building now and put it in the UK, when someone sees it, like, I don't know, this Nigerian architecture, this is how Nigerian buildings look like. I think the right term should be like, it's not like we don't have anything, we have, but it's not that it's not pronounced, it doesn't show our culture.
Okay,
It doesn't
okay.
show our culture.
It doesn't show that.
Right.
But the thing is, what I want to believe is that I think it's because we are striving for like global modernism. If you notice, buildings that you meet here, or skyscrapers you see here in Nigeria, you see some of them in the US, you see some of them in Tokyo, you see them. So I don't know. So I think it's a good global thing. Even she mentioned it that Beijing has like changed the whole structures like that. So that's the thing. So I feel like it's a general thing. But the thing is, it should not be. We should be trying to like, yes, we can go for that global business and then build some structure that look like, but still have, you get, it still have. If you look at Korean culture, their palaces are kept the way they are. They didn't touch them. They are all their, you will see them. They are now tourist attractions. But like they didn't touch anything. Even the materials, the type of, they just renovate and. This palace that I used to admire a lot, the Benin Palace.
Okay.
What's the name? There was a new king that came and just like covered all the walls with like normal block. Now, just cover everything. And you know, if you go there now, you can't see that. You know that civilization that Benin was supposed to like bring. You can't see any part of the Benin Empire's might.
All this
that kind of thing.
About if we actually if we look at it critically now, Nigeria obviously just have 2 heritage sites. Just two heritage sites. One is in the north, one is in
Badagry.
No, not Badagry. It's this place that was designed by Susan Wenger.
Osun Shrine.
And there's another one that is in the north, but
That could be better.
no Kogi Palace. It's one mountain like that in the north. I can't really remember the name.
Okay, the one with
But if you see all these
I don't feel
Indian
like
and Chinese, if you check, they have so many heritage sites. We have how many cultures in Nigeria, and we don't only 2 heritage sites. What does that say?
Our tourist attractions aren't even really
yeah.
Our tourist attractions, we bring white people here.
It's
Let them
not
come and
okay.
see. What they are going to come and see is landscape.
It's what they have.
They're going to come and
in
see
their side.
caves. They're going to come and see. But like buildings that really
Now,
express our culture, they're dying. They're dying.
Like we had
Yeah,
how many empires? We had the Oyo Empire, we had the Benin Empire, we had Lupe, we had Sokoto,
All those
nothing.
All those cultural artifacts that they used to teach us in primary school. Did you see how
Some of them are in museums.
Okay.
Some we lost them to colonialism, they just came to everything.
I was saying that I want to see a video now. That means Nigerian architects are not better architects.
That's true. We are showing them the star architects.
Yeah,
The thing is, I think it is what's the name? How we found ourselves and how we came into architecture from our those that pioneered architecture in Nigeria. Most of them, if you go to those that school abroad, they taught us that architecture. That's an architecture. And then we didn't exactly, we just came in. So we just took it up. So it's not really our fault. That's what they're teaching us in school. I don't think if I design a building and put more houses and stuff.
You will not agree.
Yeah.
Let's not get to the education. Okay, so Do you agree with the definition of with her definition? Actually, it was her definition. She described a building as a way to promote positive energy from the positive energy flow between the interior and exterior. We're talking about incorporating nature. So like, it's not just about incorporating nature. We're also supposed to promote a positive energy flow. We shouldn't just tree here. Like it should flow.
Yeah.
Like, and positively, not negatively. Not we're putting tree and ants is infesting us, killing us, mosquito.
Yeah, the way what I think she was trying to envision there is that what is inside should not be completely or should not like completely contradict what is outside. So and then there's also the part where it's supposed to harmonize with it. So for example, there is this building that are in Korea where there's falling water. That makes a lot of sense. You get, and then there is a part where even if when we are building these normal conventional buildings, we're supposed to have like a way to like still interact with the exterior, from the interior. So for example, fine, they have like a garden out front, and then your sitting room is looking at that garden. That kind of thing, not just closing everybody fully. Do you get me? So that's what I feel. Now, if you look at buildings, even our exterior has completely changed from the way it's supposed to be. Some people are using asphalt throughout their compound. It's like, it's just, and then they will come and say, the building is 500 million. How will you know 500 million? It's not 500 floor. Like, why?
But then,
the grass was green.
Exactly.
How much?
There's something that Le Corbusier, some video I watched one time that he said about building that whatever you are taking from nature to erect a building you should find a way to incorporate that nature in the building. That's why if you, let's say this is a plot of land and you remove all the vegetation in this area, by the time you erect that structure now, find a way to so that's why we have to have things like maybe roof gardening. So it should not be that you are just minusing completely. You should find a way to still add.
There's this result that I heard of where they got to the site and they didn't touch anything on the site. Nothing. Like absolutely nothing. And they built stuff. So it's just the spaces between trees. Then they can just find a way to build the building. Then the terrain, they kept it. So all the steps, they just made it flow like that.
No, we're actually trying this terrain.
Yes.
When I went to, for my sister's convocation, you know how hilly that place is. And it's not just hilly, the rocks are huge. They're like boulders. So like where you can break that thing to build. But then they still try, they still make everything steps. They
should not try now, you can't what you expect.
If you look at it, going back to traditional architecture here.
The terrain,
when it comes to terrain thing, they keep it that way. If you say a city that was maybe on a rock or on a hill, they find a way to incorporate their building around that stuff. So it's not like they come and start chopping up the boulders and everything.
It's just like
they just build with it. But now because we have cranes and everything, so just take everything down and just
if they are going to come and break boulders, probably will stick.
There's some stuff Le Corbusier, some video I watched one time that he said about building that whatever you are taking from nature to erect a building you should find a way to incorporate that nature in the building. That's why if you, let's say this is a plot of land and you remove all the vegetation in this area, by the time you erect that structure now, find a way to so that's why you guys are doing things like maybe roof gardening. So it should not be that you are just minusing completely. You should find a way to still add.
There's this result that I heard of where they got to the site and they didn't touch anything on the site. Nothing. Like absolutely nothing. And they built stuff. So it's just the spaces between trees, then they can just find a way to bring the building in. Then the terrain, they kept it. So all the steps, they just made it flow
Nigeria.
with it.
Like
That's
that.
not terrain in Nigeria. Would have moved now.
But actually trying this terrain thing.
Yes.
When I went to where is this place? Ekiti State for my sister's convocation. You know how hilly that place is, and it's not just hilly. The rocks are huge. They're like boulders. So like before you can break that thing to build. But then they still try. They still make everything stepped. They still try
You
to
should not try that. You should not use it.
Exactly. If you look at it, it's going back to traditional architecture here.
the terrain.
Yeah, when it comes to
okay.
terrain thing, they keep it that way. If you say a city that was maybe on a rock or on a hill, they find a way to incorporate their building around that stuff. So it's not like they'll come and start chopping up the boulders and everything.
It's just like
they
this.
just build with it.
Just
But
like
now
this.
because we have cranes and everything, so
Oh, yeah.
I just take everything down and just
If you are going to come and break boulders, you are coming with your stick.
That's what I was saying
Your
initially.
stick
that
and pickaxe.
To a large extent, the available technology now has greatly influenced. By the time you realize that you have no way of survival, you have to make do with what you have.
What you
You'll be
have.
forced to use.
Yeah.
But since now we have so many
Everything.
just
Destroy. Break it down. Down.
So I think it's a good thing that we have to involve. We're designing with the very points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it doesn't really open the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is another quote by Xi Zhang during the video. She said, "It's not about how pretty this person looks, but what the person does for others." So, with this statement, do you think this can also be related to building? You know the way they say that it's not about aesthetics. The philosophy of form follows function. Do you think this can be related to that statement? Like buildings, not just aesthetics, function. You have to make sure that it's also functional.
You know what? You know this this is it the Venustas? No, the
Is it chemical Venusa's
Yeah.
Principles of architecture.
What's his name?
It's for attributes. Yeah.
So that is a building should be functional.
Yeah.
But it must be functional.
Yeah.
It also has to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And it should be stable, it should be strong. So if whatever structure or whatever building you are designing
Any of these
is lacking in one of them, then
It's
That quote,
yeah, that's just please.
I just feel like I put like an only in there. So it's not only about how good the person
Okay,
looks.
not only about.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because there is no way,
Yeah.
even with people, there is
Yeah.
no way I'm going to meet you.
Even with
No, actually, because
Yes.
if you're not well,
If you are not well, if you're not well
yes.
cared, if you're not well cared, no matter how good your personality is as a person, I will not come and meet you if you don't look well
Sorry
cared.
guys, I like everyone person.
Like you only besties, you understand?
another thing about I feel to some extent beauty is also subjective. Because when you
very, very
That's true.
they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
So a building may look fine to you, but may not be. So it also matters the kind of environment. You can carry a very, very beautiful structure now and put, let's say, in the village. It will not be appreciated because it's not serving that purpose. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, in that
so,
setting.
Yes, in that setting.
that
So
setting.
whatever you are designing should suit the environment. It should suit the purpose to which.
Exactly. So it's like a star architect, designs for the client, while a better architect designs for the community.
No, cut. Okay, stop. Maybe you'll be remembering that for years.
But don't you think? Because from her argument or from what she was saying in the video, she's against the whole star architect thing because they are just designing for iconic purpose. So if if a star architect should now put those other things
inside,
does that make the person less of a star architect?
That just makes you
It just makes them
A better star.
So her point now is there's a stereotype. She's stereotyping the star architect.
Yeah.
That their own is to do
That was where I first did not really want to fully agree with her in the beginning. Like that part, because she started out with the star part, then she got in and
further
understand because, but then just because we want, yes, the main point is to do the form follows function and make sure everything harmonizes. But what still makes you that architect is when you are able to bring the aesthetics into it, make people wow. They see the building and it is wow, this is beautiful, and they enter and the function is still beautiful. It doesn't mean that I can't still design some of the things that, like, those some of the creative ideas that I have. I can still bring it.
Also,
So
also for trusting on this point, if you take Africa as a whole now, they're trying to mention some architects names that have like done stuff. We have like Francis Carey that won the Pritzker Award. What type of architecture does he do? Have you seen how his buildings are? It's like community kind of.
All this foreign architecture that we're bringing is not iconic again. We've seen it all. What are you to see
So that
our
means
culture now?
from all indications, if architects that are designing iconic structures also consider the whole environment thing. From what she's saying that, or does it mean that if all those things are put in place, then there will be that stereotype won't be there anymore?
Yes, it's not there anymore. She'll come back and give an after talk and say, oh guys, I'm sorry. Last time I said, architects on this best now.
Yes, because what she just put out there was just this facade that you guys are doing, all these aesthetics, you don't need it or we don't need it.
It's not giving.
That's how we be architects we don't.
With function and aesthetics as well.
She's forgetting about. Let's just say she's forgetting about the body.
I think, as Mary said before, she's not saying like just function. She's saying not just aesthetics, not only aesthetics.
It's good that she actually called us back, like she called us back and explained to us again, like she just slapped us back to go back to the main roots before you because everybody's sticking to the facade.
Because you want to have maybe one long window, you will now say, okay, it's going to fit my building, but that window can't be opening.
These are last question, guys. Woo! Okay, so in what ways, as aspiring architects, because we're all aspiring architects, sorry, some of us are not planning to stay in the field, but
Who are you?
you
has a motto.
So in what ways do we aspiring architects, how can we apply the information from this video, from this talk, from this conversation we just had? Like, how do you think we can apply this information? Like, what do you want to do further on in your design, as you're going on in your career, in your workplace, stuff like that?
Okay, so what I want to say is that, like, moving forward, let's say you come to an area and you want to build, okay, what is existing here? How is the way of life for these people here? What do they do? How can you engage the people in that community and ask them, because you can't just go and just build something and be like, oh, they need
this is your building,
That's why sometimes they don't really take care of all you build new structures for them. They are not used to those kind of things. So how can we, like, the whole point is that we should engage them. Okay, what is it that you want us to do for you? How can we do this? How can we do that community?
I'm sorry, but like, I was watching this video on IG one time. They were talking about how I think was it Xi China, I can't remember, but let me say Asia. In Asia, they started adopting this new signage for male and female toilets. Like it doesn't even look like, you know, the normal head skirt, that's female, head straight, that's male. They don't do that anymore. It's one strange sign, this and that. And they were like, they didn't ask us. They just said, okay, this is more aesthetically pleasing. Let's do it. Let's make it like that. Like that's not what we're here for. We want to know that, okay, this is my male toilet, this is my female toilet. Like, why are you confusing me? Like, why did you ask me first?
What I think now is there is a limitation to bringing these things to light. We need first, there has to be like a public enlightenment, because we are architects and what our services are tailored to the client. So it's what the client wants that you can do for him. A client can come and meet me and tells me I want a 5-bedroom duplex. And I come and I go to our traditional architecture and bring in tap with tapestries. You will definitely not accept that. He will come and meet you. There are some educated clients that will come and meet you, bring a work from Pinterest, right? And they will show you, this is how I want my building to look like. It is his money. He's paying you for it. Now, as an architect, what you can do is tell him.
Customer is always right.
What you tell him is, okay, should we not do it like this? We can do it like this. Let's try to bring the nature. You want to build the house in your village, and it's looking like one British mansion. That kind of things. That can't just like make it look like have a traditional feel to it. That kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's still the client's pocket that is going to initiate. So it's not really about it's not really about the architects. You can admonish. It's only when even the government, even if it's the government that is giving you the job, they will still have like what's the name of it? You have like a format that they want you to build in. So that's what I feel is restricting. I'm sure there will be architects that have all these ideas behind. But it's only when you are the one that wants to build it.
Yeah, for yourself.
Or you get me. It's only when you are the one that wants to build it.
You can start the trend though. Like you can build it for yourself.
No, the thing is, you can even see it from the previous architect. Falling Waters, he built that house for himself. Do you get me? That's why he was able to. If he was building for a client that wants that, do you get me? So I think that is the major limitation.
So we're supposed to educate our
So,
clients.
I think
That's the thing.
public enlightenment.
Public, general public, because I don't know, not everybody will even accept it. Imagine you build that kind of stuff. It's going to be subjective. Some people will be like, wow, this is nice. Some people will be like, nah, what am I doing? That's that kind of thing too. That's the thing.
But you know what you need. But like you just have to like stick to your philosophy. Like this is what I'm trying to achieve for you. Eventually, they will see the advantage of
so the only thing is, you as an architect, you can maybe make it your trademark, especially since you
Yes.
So say you make it your trademark, any client that is coming to meet you already knows that that's what you do.
That's what you
So
do. Yeah.
they come and meet you and
Well,
okay,
I kind
I
of
like your
feel
style.
how we can work in what he just said now should be. You know how people that have pages for their works, they just social media presence and all of that. They just design things that they feel can be in this kind of place and they just post. You understand? So something like that. So I feel on our part, since almost 90% of the structure that we're designing is for the client, is what the client wants. On our own part now, we should showcase more of what, of those heritage kind of things.
You should cancel pictures.
Because believe it or not, is what you see that influences your design, your decision making and all of that. So because now if you go on Pinterest, you see a lot of this modern luxury buildings.
Nigerian Pinterest.
Someone now looking at it, an average citizen or normal person looking at it, so if you put something in the minds of the viewers or of the people, the more you imprint it in their minds, the more you now.
I think that.
Then again, another thing is we should also not forget that it's not all about the whole big, plenty designing things and all of that. We should try to make it simple to like say less is more. So I just feel that.
So that's it. So no more Fangary.
So guys, thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, we enjoyed ourselves. These guys enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah.
And like, okay, special thanks to Dr. Osheni for making us watch this video and giving us this new mindset and like this new thought process in regards to star architects, better architects, good architects, and in fact Nigerian architecture as a whole. So thank you guys. Like,
Yeah.
bye guys. Bye.